Hello students, today we will study development, which is chapter 1 of economics. In this chapter we will basically discuss about national development. You all have heard that India is a developing country and that western countries are developed countries. So how are these countries measured based on development? We will find out in this chapter. In this chapter, we will understand how countries are compared based on development. But before we begin this chapter, there are two concepts that you all need to be clear about. First concept is that different people have different concept of development. And second is what is development for one might be destruction for others, meaning that what would be termed as development for one set of people, for other set of people it might not be development at all. So let us look at this in much more detail. So what is development? To understand development, let us ask ourselves these questions. What would you like to do? How would you like to live? Children, if you ask this question to yourself, what would you like to do? So many would want to become engineers, some would want to become doctors, other would want to become lawyers, some would want to stay in Mehdaval, some would want to move over to Delhi, some would want to drive their own cars, some would rather want to have their own helicopters. Some would want to do job with a multinational company, while other would might want to set up their own provision stores or other businesses. So, meaning that different people might have different aspirations towards their developmental goals. If you ask this question to your own self, what would be development for you? Then the answer might be that after you pass class 12, all of you might want a vehicle. You would demand a two-wheeler from your father. But if you ask this same question to your 5-year-old brother or sister, then they might answer this question by saying that for them development is just candy is available to them every day, then it is development for them. So, what is development for one might be not be development for others. For example, let us take your parents' aspiration when they were young, like 20-25 years ago. For them, their basic aspirations might be education, good education, because in the earlier days we did not had so many good colleges. So they would aspire to study in some good university, get a good job. In the earlier times, the connectivity was also a problem. There weren't as much vehicles available on the road. Therefore, and also that there were no such good roads as are present these days. So better connectivity might also be one of their aspirations. Similarly, better health facilities, better electricity, these might be some of the goals of your parents. But if you ask this to today's urban youth, his aspirations might be completely different from what your parents would be wanting during their youth days. So here we can also ask a larger question about how a country should be like. So, for many people, a country should be like this, where everybody is employed in agriculture and there is a very peaceful life without any hustle and bustle of a city, right? Similarly, other might want their nation to look like this, where all the modern amenities and facilities are available for them to enjoy. Therefore, development involves thinking about this question and the way in which we can work toward achieving these goals. Alright, so development involves thinking about this question, how the future would be like, what are the facilities that we would want for ourselves, and what kind of income should we have, how are we working. These all things are required if you want to understand development. So we need to understand that different people have different developmental goals. What may be development for one may be destruction for others. Like I said, these two are the two basic concepts that you need to understand. So what do we mean by that? Different people have different developmental goals. So for a daily wage earner, suppose a rickshaw puller, for him what would be the developmental goal? Basically he would want that he should have much more earning every day, and that maybe he could get a car to drive as a Ola driver or a cab driver, where he could get higher income. So let us discuss table 1.1, which talks about developmental goals of different categories of people. So let us take example of landless rural laborer. A landless rural laborer, what would be his developmental goals? Mostly that the number of days of work available should be much more. Since he is a rural laborer, right? So basically he is employed during seasons in the farms. Therefore, which is very limited. Like out of 1 year, he might be getting employed for 6 to 7 months. So therefore he wants that there should be much more working days available to him so that he could earn much more. Similarly, he would want better wages so that his income is higher. Now since he is a very poor person, his children are going to government schools where the quality of education is not that much. Therefore he would wish that the quality of education for his children should improve so that they could get better jobs and they don't have to work as rural laborers like he was working, so that education is his aspiration for his children. There is also a lot of discrimination that a poor person faces in the society in rural area. Therefore he would also wish that there is less discrimination. Similarly, he would also aspire that one day he could become the leader of the village, get elected in the local elections, which he cannot because of the money that is required to fight elections. Similarly, if we compare this landless rural laborer's developmental goals with suppose a developmental goals of a rich urban family girl, then what would she want? She might want more freedom, as much freedom as her own brother. She should be able to decide what she wants to do in the life. She is also able to pursue her studies abroad. Now she wants to study abroad. Compare this with the aspiration of a rural laborer. If even just getting some good education in his own village is an aspiration for him, while a rich girl would want to study abroad. So this proves that different categories of people have different aspirational needs or developmental goals. So a lot of the columns are empty here. Your homework is for you to fill all those columns according to what you think might be the developmental goals of these categories. For example, a rural woman from a land owning family, what would be her aspirations? So because she is a rural woman, she might want to get a good university education from some city, that she should be able to start her own get a job, and similarly she might also want to move to city for a better life. So these are aspiration goals of a ruler rich woman. All right. Similarly, fill all the other columns which are empty and send it to me on the group so that I could see whether you have understood the concept or not. Development for one may be destruction for other. To understand, let's see. Let us take the example of this gentleman. He is a industrialist, a factory owner. So what do you think would be his aspirational goals? For a person like him, he might aspire that since he has lot of factories, so he should have much more better human resource available to him. People who are much higher skilled are available to him for him to hire in his factory. Similarly, he might also desire good infrastructure so that he could earn much more profit from his factories. He might want cheaper electricity to be available. So for cheaper electricity to be available, he would aspire that a dam is built in the locality of his factories so that he could get 24/7 electricity at a lower cost. But what is his developmental goal? Might result in a lot of rural people who are living in the vicinity of the river to lose their homes. That is why we said that development for one may be destruction for others. For one person, getting better electricity, good electricity is development, but to do so, some other person might have to lose their life and their homes and move to some other place where they know no one and have to face a lot of insecurities. So, what is development for one is destruction for others. So, children, tell me what would be the developmental goal of such a village. They might want that they should build dams, but which are much smaller, where they don't have to move their homes to some other places, or because of which their homes are destroyed. They might not want such a dam, rather they would want that small dams are built which can generate small electricity so that their life is not affected that much. Now coming to the main topic of national development. Individuals have different goals. Similarly, every individual have different notion of national development. Different person could have different as well as conflicting notion of country's development. To understand this, let us take example of communism and capitalism. So for a communist, what might be development for a communist might not be development in the eyes of a capitalist. Similarly, what is development for a capitalist might not be development for a communist, right? What is communism? Communism is basically a set of beliefs which states that all the resources of a nation should belong to the state or government, and that government divide all these resources equally among all the people. On the other hand, capitalism believes that all the resources should be in the hands of individuals, and every individual should be able to gather as much resources as he could through his hard work. So both of them are talking about development only, but their ideas of development is in opposite of each other. So how do we compare different countries based on development? Basically, when we ask this question of comparing different countries, we are saying that we have to have a method by which we could measure development of each countries, right? So to measure development, we often take the help of many attributes such as income of the nation. Similarly, quality and standard of living available in any particular nation, like educational level of the people, the healthcare facilities that are available, connectivity and infrastructure facilities that are available. So we take a look of these two kinds of attributes to measure development of any nation. Generally, countries with higher income are much more developed than others with less income. Why is that? because if any nation has much more higher income, then obviously they would be able to buy a lot of more things which are required by human beings. So the quality of life of their citizens would be much better as compared to a country which is earning less. So they would be able to afford less goods for their citizens. So the quality of life would be lesser as compared to a country with higher income. Therefore, countries with higher income are much more developed. So income of a country basically means income of all the people in the country. So what do we understand by income of a country? When we add the income of all the people of a country, it becomes the income of a country. Now, can we actually compare nations based on their income level? To understand this problem, let us take Haryana and Uttar Pradesh for example. Suppose these two states were countries. Now, Haryana has a total population of 1 crore people, while Uttar Pradesh has a total population of 20 crore people. Haryana has an annual income of say 2 lakhs crore, whereas Uttar Pradesh has an annual income of 8 lakh crore. Now if we measure development of these two countries, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, based on income, then Uttar Pradesh would have a much higher income as compared to Haryana. So does that mean that Uttar Pradesh is much more developed than Haryana? The answer is no. Because Uttar Pradesh suppose is earning 6 lakh crore or 8 lakh crore as annual income, but the total population of the country is what? 20 crores. So the average income that is being earned by every individual is very less when we compare it to Haryana, which is earning 2 lakh crore and the average income is and the total population is only 1 crore. So their average income is much more higher, which means that any average people would be able to buy much more their basic necessity as compared to someone say from Uttar Pradesh. Therefore, we don't take national income directly to compare different countries, even though that is also a way by which countries are measured. But mostly we use average income. Average income is what? It is also called per capita income, and it basically means that the total income of all the people divided by total population. It is the average income of a nation. So what is the average income of India, suppose? So if we add all the total population of this nation, how much money they are earning, we add it together and we divide it by total population of our country, then we will get the average income of our country. I hope it is clear. Now, you all know the World Bank, right? World Bank publishes the World Development Report. This report that is published by World Bank uses per capita income to measure national development of all countries. According to the report published in 2016, countries with average income of $12,236 or 9,17,700 rupees are rich countries. These countries are also what we call developed countries. Countries with an average income of $1,005 or roughly equivalent to 75,375 rupees are called middle income countries. According to this report, India was a low middle income country with $1,840 per capita income, which is roughly equivalent to 1,38,000 rupees. So, for today we will end the class here. I want all of you to read the books till this part, and I will continue the further classes in the next video.